The global media will always focus on major natural disasters like we've seen recently in Haiti. And that's a good thing because a lot of people have come on side and donated very generously to help out in that situation. But there are natural disasters that happen here in Canada and the US that maybe are not on such a large scale, but they also need a helping hand. That's where this disaster response unit comes in. Samaritan's Purse has been involved in worldwide emergency relief for many years, as well as responding to the needs at home when disaster strikes. Their disaster response units have crisscrossed North America, bringing hope and relief to many communities.
The U.S. office of Samaritan's Purse already had disaster relief units like this, and they were sending them to Katrina. And we recognized a need in Canada to be able to respond to the same types of disasters. There were actually a lot of teams from Canada that went down there and volunteered, and there were staff down here as well at Katrina for a long time. And then after that, we made arrangements so that one of the U.S. trucks we were able to purchase and bring up here and begin to operate from here.
This disaster response unit has traveled over 1 million miles, responding to areas of need across this continent. They're well organized, coming into each situation with a plan, mobilizing local volunteers to be part of the process.
Our first step is to go in and assess the timing and the need and make sure that, we can time it appropriately so that we arrive and be able to do the work. And typically what we bring is the equipment and the resources to be able to do it with, but we don't provide the human resources. We will provide people that were supervised, but typically we're looking for volunteers in the community to be able to help and with that mud out work, as we call it, and to do other things. We don't want to leave the impression all the time that we just swoop in with every resource that's needed, because typically we're going to require some from local volunteers to be able to help us.
The response to these efforts has been overwhelming, with gratitude and wonder that Samaritan's Purse would make the effort to lend a helping hand.
First couple of experiences that we had with it, which would be Terrace, BC, about 3 years ago, and then we've also been in Binghamton, New York, and in Wisconsin in the U.S. with this particular disaster relief unit. But in Terrace, BC, and then in Moncton the year after, what we found was that people really didn't know what Samaritan's Purse was and what the truck was all about. And so one of the things we have to do is build credibility with local disaster relief services people, the government agencies and that type of thing, so they understand who we are and that we're professional and that we have a role that we're experienced and we can fulfill appropriately. The other thing is we arrive in a community and they're typically saying, well, what are you doing here? Why are you bothering with this? And our answer to that is that we live by the code of the Good Samaritan, that when there's a need, we respond to the need, and that's why we're there, whether it's domestic or international.
The efforts of Samaritan's Purse with the disaster response units are not just about cleaning up the mess, as they care a great deal about each individual affected by the situation and want to come alongside them.
This ends up being a partnership, typically when we go into these disaster situations, the domestic ones, a partnership between Samaritan's Purse and the Billy Graham Association. Samaritan's Purse is taking care primarily of people's physical needs, and then we'll have rapid response team volunteers. These are trained volunteer chaplains who will come alongside us. And as we're cleaning out somebody's, for example, completely flooded basement where they've had all kinds of mementos and other things destroyed, we'll have the chaplains will come alongside and just say, do you want to talk about this? How you doing? Would you like to pray? That type of thing. And it's been an opportunity again to just address that very important spiritual aspect of people's lives.